in downtown Oklahoma, right? Part of the truck went this way, part went this way. Have they found all the pieces of the truck? No, they found another piece that had gone a long way. It was not very big, so it went very, very far because it was not as massive, right? So yeah, so they found like the axle went this way, right? So you can find the pieces. How about the bombing of the airliner over Lockerbie, Scotland, which was done by Gaddafi, for example, okay, in Libya, right? The airplane is flying this way. That's all of the momentum of the airplane. After the explosion, parts of the airplane went off in different... Can I interrupt, guys? Can we stop? Parts of the airplane went off in different directions like this. Is it possible if you add all these momenta together, you get this momentum? Well, I guess it'd have to be a bit longer, right? Wouldn't it? Yeah? Isn't that possible? So they do that when they investigate explosions. They will actually look for the pieces of it, right? Now, one of the weird things is that one of the pieces that flies around is the gas, the actual explosive gas itself, right? And there are ways to see where that gas went, okay? And then one last thing, have you ever seen that thing on tanks? While we're talking about explosive gases, here's the barrel of a tank cannon, right? It's got like a thing on it, right? Doesn't it have a thing on the end of it like that? The bullet comes out here, right? Doesn't it? But there's like a big wide thing. Does anybody know what that is? It's not a silencer. Tanks don't care if you hear. Why does it do that? What's the purpose of that? There we go. Carlos, he was just drifting off to sleep, but then he's like, I know this. Yes. There we go. Yeah. This is called a muzzle brake. This thing is called a muzzle brake. This thing is shooting a huge shell. This is not like a handheld weapon. This is a giant thing designed to kill other tanks, right? And so when the bullet goes down the barrel, behind it is several pounds of explosive gases that are now gases. They were explosives, now they're gases, right? When it reaches this point, at that instant, as it's exiting the muzzle brake, those gases, since they can move a lot faster, go shooting out backwards. And so if you send something backwards at the same time you send something forward, don't you sort of negate some of that recoil? Yeah. Isn't that cool? Right? Now, they actually make recoilless rifles, too, that do the same thing. They somehow have a muzzle brake that shoots the gas backwards. Hopefully it doesn't, like, put out your eyes. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever shot a recoilless rifle? Does it? It's got a muzzle brake on it?
It looks like a big black box on the end.
Okay. And does it really work?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. One last thing. Hello? While we're talking about things going one way and things going the other way to reduce recoil, right? Does anybody here do taekwondo? Or any... Does anybody, seriously? Or any martial art? When they teach you to punch, this is why I quit wrestling because I was too much of a wimp, and I did taekwondo, which you can like eat food and do taekwondo, right? In Iowa, you like had to starve yourself to like wrestle at any weight, right? That was back in the bad old days, right? But in taekwondo, they teach you to punch, right? First you're like in this nice stance, feet like shoulder length apart, right? And you start, I don't know how you throw the first punch, right? That's why I've never started a fight. But when you do the next punch, you pull this arm back at the same time this one's going forward. So it's like, right? Right? Okay? And if you see like the master guys that are really, really good, like the black belts and the second, third degree, fifth degree black belts, right? They're wearing these canvas uniforms and it just goes snap, snap, snap like a whip, right? They can just do that so fast, and the reason you can do it so fast, you can just try it. You keep your shoulders square. You're not going like this. Shoulders square, snap, snap, snap like this, right? Your fists go really fast, and it's because as I'm pushing this one out, right, this guy's coming back, and it reduces the amount of recoil on my body, so you can do really fast punches. It's kind of cool, right? Kicks do the same thing. There's always this counter motion, which is kind of a cool thing. All right, time to talk about cars. The next several inventions that I've invented are very, very sensitive things. The transmogrifier box, please don't tell anybody about that. But these car designs I hold near and dear to my heart, so please don't disclose these to anybody. And I started to think, I was in my inventing shed, and I started to think about cars. And I started to think, there ought to be a way to power a car using momentum, yeah? Don't you think? Because momentum is such a cool thing, right? So I designed, this is my first car. I call it the Murray Pendumobile, right? And the concept was that you would just have a mass. This could be not that large a mass, like 15 tons or something like that for a typical car, right? Okay, and you could just crank that mass up at night using cheap electricity, right? Whoops. Stay. Okay, crank that guy up, and then when you needed to go someplace, just let her go, right? Like, now there was one little problem, and I forgot the minus sign, right? It's like, I forgot my minus sign. Okay, I forgot that if the mass is going forward, the car actually goes backward. That's kind of fun, isn't it? Like, whoa, there they go. Okay, you know, I thought maybe the car would go forward at the same time, but oops. Here we go. Right? Wouldn't it be fun to drive this car? It's like you're coming up to a stoplight. Time to stop. Oop, I'm going to rear end you several times. Oh, now I'm backing away. Why don't milk trucks do that when they're half full of milk? Why don't milk trucks go? Why doesn't the milk go sloshing from end to end? You know that load would be big enough to make that thing just go down the road like this, right? I have a hypothesis. I don't really know the answer. I think that they must have like vertical baffles in there to keep it from sloshing. They have to, don't they? Because they have to drive. Milk trucks halfway through their route have to be half full of milk, right? Unless they don't do that anymore. They used to go around farm to farm, pick up milk, right? I don't know. Little applause for that. Yeah, right? So, my next design, the next Murray-mobile, okay? The next Murray-mobile, I decided, hey, what I really need to do is I need to have stuff that goes, the stuff goes one way and the car goes the other way, right? Yeah? And so I designed this one. This uses simple things, right? It's just air powered, right? Okay, and yeah, right. And I calculated that simply a dome here, 90 meters in diameter, okay, would be enough for a car to do a short half-mile trip. Okay, and people complained about the size of the balloon, how long it would take to blow up, and how you'd have to like clear all the power lines out of the way and all this stuff. People are just such nitpickers and naysayers when you're trying to create, you know. But anyway, I thought it was a good plan, but they didn't think it was such a good plan. Okay, and so I kind of regret my actual the next Murray-mobile. Okay, I kind of regret trying it, but I just had to try it, you know. Some people said I never should have done it, but I just said, you know, hey, I'm not even listening. I've got my hearing protection on, right?
Oh, dear.
All right. Are we ready? You guys need to kind of...
What do we have to block?
All right. Are we ready? Ah, look up! Ah, look at it go! Woo! Whoa! Thank you very much. Woo! Now, I present these plans. They're all like at the patent office, like, you know, that's too dangerous. You know, I was just going to eject sticks of dynamite and ignite them with, yeah. Anyway, but you know, and so you know. So then I decided, well, hey, let's just, you know, wangle this a little more, okay? Where is my... I must have the cork. A methanol cannon, man. All right, I'm missing my cork. This will not definitely work without the cork. You guys smell something burning? All right. I had 2 corks, which is somewhat puzzling then why I have none. All right. Anybody see a cork sitting about? All right, I will be back. I will be back.